Hey guys, the Gadget Man here with nothing but gadgets, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up and navigate the menu settings for the Ceyomur CY50 Trail Camera. So 3, 2, 1, let's get at it. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is turn it on. So move it to setup. Comes up there. Okay, we got the up and down buttons right here to the side. So let's see what they got. English, French, Dutch. I think that's Chinese, maybe Japanese, Spanish, Italian, and yeah, Chinese or Japanese. Not sure which ones those are. So those are the languages you can choose. I'm going to choose English and turn it on. Okay. Now we set the date and time, which right now is 21. Press OK. And it's the 9th. It's October 9th. Right there. So it's October 9th. We'll set that and set the time, which right now is 9:11. All right. So now it says memory card missing. So we have to insert a memory card. It goes in like this. Turns off and on. Okay, now we're set. Now let's go into the menu. So this top button here is the menu. So the first thing we have is mode. So let's go into mode. We've got photo, video, or photo video. I always like to choose photo video. And we will go down. Next thing is photo resolution. Let's see what options we have. Let's round the corner here. We have 20 megapixel, 16 megapixel, 14 megapixel, 12, 10, 8, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and set it to 20. All right, let's go down. Photo series. This is basically how many photos you can take. You can take 1, 2, or 3 photos. I'm going to set it to 3 photos. Go down. Video resolution. Have 1080p, 1280p, and 640p. I'm going to leave it in 1080p. Video length. I like 10 seconds. That's a good amount of time, so I'm going to leave it there. Go down. Cycle storage. What this means is loop recording. So this means that if you leave it in the field a long time and it fills the card up with images and videos and it gets full, if you leave this off, it'll stop recording anything. It will not take any more pictures or video. If you turn it on, that means that whenever the SD card gets filled up with data, it will cycle. Basically, it'll start recording over the oldest videos and images on the card. And so it will continue recording, but you'll start losing the oldest images. So I always leave that on. PIR Interval. This is how often you want the motion detector, this right here, to be activated so that it starts sensing movement. So I always like to set it to about 10 minutes because I use my camera for wildlife viewing, and you don't want to catch a bunch of pictures of the same animals, and wildlife tend to spend about 5 to 7 minutes at a single location. So if I set it to 10 minutes, I'll just not get a whole bunch of pictures of the same animal. So 10 minutes is what I like. So they'll go there. PIR Sensitivity. We have high, medium, and low. With a new camera, I always set it to high, and if I get too many false positives where it takes pictures of nothing, I'll move it down to middle. So we'll start off in high. IR brightness. This is how bright these IR lights will be, and this will affect how far the image you can see at night. So how bright you want these to be depends on the situation where you're going to be setting this camera. If you're in a environment with a lot of structure in front of the camera, you maybe want to set them on low or economy. But if you're in an open area where it's going to be, you can see for a long ways, you want to set them to high. How bright you set these will determine how far your images are exposed at night. So I'm going to set it to high. All right. Target recording time. Essentially what this is you can schedule the camera to turn on and turn off at a certain time. So you can set it to, say, 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the morning, or 6 o'clock in the evening till 6 o'clock in the morning, and you can choose your times. But I don't like this setting, so I'm not going to use it. I'm going to go back and not turn that on. Time-lapse recording. So if you don't want to use the sensor to sense motion and you just want to make a time-lapse video, essentially of getting a picture ever so often, say every 30 seconds, and then string them together to make a video out of that, that's what that function is. You can turn that on, and you know, you can choose how long that you want the interval to be. It's 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and 30 minutes. I'm going to leave that off because I want to use the motion detector. Okay? So we've already set the language up. We've already set the time and date. The date format. So date format is how you want the day. This is year, month, and day. That's typically how Americans or you in the United States people use their date. But if you're in a different country, you may set day, month, and year, or month, day, and year. I'm going to leave it at right there at year, month, and date. So we'll leave that there. Time and date, we've already set that up. Serial number. If you want to give this camera a particular name that's going to be burned into the image, you could call it camera 1, camera 2. That's what that means right there. You can assign a name to the camera. Say you have 3 or 4 of the same exact units and you want to know which card came from which unit. You can assign a name, and that will be burned onto the actual picture. Okay, but I'm not going to use that, so we'll just skip that right there. Temp unit. Basically, this camera has the ability to tell you what the temperature is, and you can use it in Fahrenheit or Celsius. I use Fahrenheit, so we'll leave that where it is. Beep sound. You've been hearing the beep sound as I push the buttons here. You can turn that on and off, and then you won't hear it anymore. Like that, see? But I'm going to leave it on for the sake of this video so that you can hear when I'm pushing the buttons. Audio recording. Well, this has a microphone, and it allows you to record audio outside. It doesn't really work that well for wildlife because wildlife don't make noises. But if you were using it as a security camera, it would be good to be able to catch maybe conversation or something on it. So you can turn that on or off. We're going to leave it on. Stamp. This is going to be the stamp that's going to be burned onto the image, a permanent thing, and you can choose to have date, time, and logo. I'm going to leave that on, but you can choose date and time, or date only, or off. So I'm going to use date, time, and logo. Set password. Now, you can give the camera a password, and all that password does is prevent you from accessing the menu. It doesn't prevent anybody from stealing the camera, but if somebody does steal the camera, then they will not be able to access the menu. And just FYI, there is no way to reset the camera if you forget your password. So if you set this password up and you forget it, then you'll lose access to your menu. And as far as I know, there is no way to reset it. It is a form of an anti-theft deterrent. Basically, if a thief tries to access the menu and finds out that he can't access the menu, then he probably won't steal the camera. But the reality is most thieves are not going to try to do that. They're going to steal the camera and then take it home. So it will not prevent theft, but it will prevent people from messing with your menu options, which doesn't really seem to be a huge concern to me, so I don't use that. Okay, now whenever you put a new memory card in your camera, you do want to format it in the camera every single time. So we're going to go ahead and format the card here. And good. Now we'll go back to the menu. Of course, it resets that. So we're going to have, I'm going to start from the bottom. Okay. And let's see. Reset settings. This is if you want to reset the camera to the default settings where it came from the factory. We don't need to do that. And then this is your system information, which is going to have your firmware version. And if there is ever a firmware update, you will load it on the SD card and press FW update, and that will update the firmware. And we're not going to use that, so we'll go back to menu. And that is it. That is all the settings on this camera. I've walked you through each and every one, told you what they're for and how to use them. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, this is the Gadget Man saying, I'll see you later.